Hi, welcome back to YouTube, Hypnotherapy and Wellness channel. My name's Andrea, and today I want to talk about insomnia and some ways to transition better through the stages leading to sleep. So we have three stages that actually lead to sleep or before sleep that we transition through every night. You may not be aware of this, but it is happening. Sometimes it happens really quickly. But I find it helpful to know what these stages are, and then I can give you some tools or tips as to how to better transition through them, so you can get to sleep faster or get back to sleep if you've woken up in the middle of the night. So the first stage is called the thinking stage, and that's probably pretty obvious what it is, but let me explain a little bit about it. So it's when your critical thinking mind is still on, and you're having more what I call day-to-day or daytime type thoughts. Thoughts that are about things that happen during the day or things that might happen tomorrow. Um, Processing the day, so to speak, or events. Maybe you're thinking about, oh, I wonder why so and so said that to me, or oh, gee, I better get up and make sure I get to work on time. I better set the alarm, or I don't forget to pick up my dry cleaning. Those types of thoughts. Um, so you need to get out of that stage, because if you don't, it'll be very hard to fall asleep. So the second stage is called fantasy imagination, and this is when your thoughts become a little more creative and imaginative, and some of those might even lead to dream or dreamlike thoughts. So it's when you've set aside that other critical type thinking mind and you're moving towards the more fantasy like, more imaginative thoughts. And then from there, you're going to head towards the hypnoidal state, which is the third state or stage before sleep. And that's when the subconscious mind is really getting the idea that you want to go to sleep, and it's starting to help you shut down the muscles. Sometimes you get those little muscle twitches. Your breathing starts to deepen. You lose a little track of time, perhaps. You're not really remembering everything you thought. So there's a little amnesia involved. Your breath is deepening, your brain waves are slowing down, the body's probably cooling a little bit and then warming back up a little later. So that's the hypnoidal stage. And once you get there, you're pretty much going to move on to sleep fairly easily. So the real trick is helping yourself get from stage one to stage two. So between the thinking and the fantasy imagination stage. So the way that you can do this is to go to bed with, let's say, 3 or 4 fantasies or imaginations in your back pocket, so to speak. Things that you know you could think about or invite that are more creative, more imaginative. So I'll give you some suggestions. It can be as simple as just a pleasant memory of something that was relaxing, like hanging out in a hammock and enjoying a lazy afternoon, or maybe a lazy afternoon and resting on a boat, which is a memory that I often use. You're just hearing the marina sounds, the rocking of the boat, kind of that lazy sensation, not much to do. Or it could be more complex. You could imagine what it would be like to be a professional athlete, or travel to the moon, or be your favorite superhero, or be, in the movie that you love, or be a character in the movie that you love or book that you love. Or maybe you're the character that meets your favorite character and changes the whole storyline. So the more imaginative you can be, the better, as long as you're keeping it relaxing. And remember, you're in charge. So if things become uncomfortable or not relaxing, just change it. So this is your imagination, so it's all up to you. The sky is the limit. Sometimes I imagine that I'm Elsa in Frozen, and I'm skating down the halls of my ice palace, and I'm passing beautiful ice sculptures, and I see my little skates in front of me down the beautiful hallway, and passing chandeliers made of ice and all kinds of wonderful things, and it's very enjoyable. So sometimes the first one doesn't work, and you have to switch to a second or third. I've never had to do more than 3, but I think it's good to always have 4, just in case. So begin to think about that. What are some things that you would like to dream about? Because remember, these could actually become dreams. So the first thing you need to do is recognize when you're still in that thinking stage, right? Sometimes that takes a little while. Sometimes you might be laying in bed planning to go to sleep, and all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, I'm still awake and I'm still having those type of daytime thoughts. So once that happens, once you recognize that, just give yourself permission to set those thoughts aside until tomorrow. Easier said than done, I know, but remind yourself that sleep is really important and that you are going to have much better thinking capacity if you get a good night's sleep. So it'll be easier to have those other type of critical thinking thoughts when you've had a good night's sleep. And those thoughts will still all be there. All those situations will, I'm sure, still be there. So they're not going anywhere probably. So give yourself permission and then invite one of those four that you have in the back pocket, one of those fantasies, imaginations. And then if you find the first one you're relaxing but you're still awake, then just go to the next one until you find yourself asleep. Or you won't find yourself asleep until the next morning, fortunately, luckily, hopefully. But so we've been talking about some mental techniques to help the mind relax. But there are also other ways to get the body to relax and go more towards the hypnoidal state. So I'll give you two of those as well. So one is the progressive relaxation technique. So this is where you're taking consciously deep breaths in, holding the breath and tightening groups of muscles, and then exhaling and releasing the muscles, therefore reminding the body what it's like to be tight and tense, and then what it's like to relax, because sometimes our body forgets, and it's important to remind the body what it's like to relax. So you can do this by just starting with your toes and then moving up to your feet and then your ankles and then your calves and so on all the way up the body. If you get to the top of your body and you're still awake, then just go back down all the way to the toes. You could start with the right side of your body and go all the way up and then down, and start up the left side of the body and go up and down. You can really do it any way you like. So that's the progressive relaxation technique. You can also focus just on your breath and just on deepening your breath and really being aware of deeper, slower breaths, following that, and that will guide you and lead you towards sleep as well. So keeping the body cool, that's going to invite the body to go towards that hypnoidal state as well. So these are some things that you can do to get your subconscious mind to recognize, oh, she wants to go to sleep or he wants to go to sleep, and help set that in motion for you. And again, you can use this if you wake up in the middle of the night as well and you need to get back to sleep. So I hope that's been helpful. Again, this has been talking about helping you better transition through those 3 stages that lead to sleep from a physical standpoint and also a mental standpoint. And I look forward to seeing you all again. My name is Andrea, and thank you for watching.